rough opening has to accommodate the overall dimension of the door and the jamb, plus a little bit for shimming. So in this case, will be 2 to 2.5 inches wider than the door.
Okay.
We also want to make the height of the rough opening a little higher than the door so that we can make sure that it's level. Okay? So the first thing we need to do is enclose our opening to fit. Okay, our rough opening is now made to fit our door and allowing for shimming. And to do that, we put 2 full thickness 2x4s, and we rip the 2x4 1 inch for each side also, bringing the opening down to the size that we need. We also want to check the side here on the hinge side to see if the rough opening is plumb. And it's off just a little, but it's close enough because we can shim the jamb.
All right.
We want to check the header to see if that's level. I run the level across here, and that's off just a little bit. To get the height of the jamb and also to allow for the unevenness of the floor, I would have to hold this level down here, put a line up there and a line down there, and then measure down from that. But what I like to do is take my level and randomly place it on the opening so I can see it right here at eye level. With my level, I take my pencil and I put a reference line here and another reference line on this side. Now I can measure up from that line, and we have 19 5/8. So now if I hold it on this side, I have 19 15/16. So that tells me that the header on this side is about 5/16 of an inch higher. Okay? So I'm going to take this measurement, which is 19 5/8, and I'm going to transfer it from the top of the jamb down to the jamb on the door. All right, 19 5/8 on this side, and I'm going to do 19 5/8 on this side. So now I have a level line here in relationship to the level line on the wall. And I have a space at the top, so when I put this into the opening, I won't have anything hanging down blocking it from going in.
Okay.
Next thing I need to do is take from our reference lines and measure down to the floor to get the length or the height of the jamb on this side, and that's 60 3/8. Do the same thing on this side and measure up to our mark, which is 61 1/8. I'm going to transfer those measurements to this side from our reference line. I'm going to measure down. Let's see what we have on this side. Oh, 61 1/8. So we don't have to cut anything on that side. That's perfect.
Okay.
So now if I take my tape measure and I hook it on the bottom of the jamb on this side of the door, I measure up, I have 61 1/8, which is the same that's on the other side of the door.
Okay.
But I need to slide my tape measure up to 60 3/8. Now you can see that I have to take something off the bottom of the jamb on this side, and that's 3/4 of an inch. Once I make that cut, I'm going to measure up from the bottom of the jamb on this side about 1 inch up. That tells me how much I have to take off the whole door, and we have to allow for the carpet so the door will swing.
Gotcha.
All right, Steve, let's put it into the opening. Try to get it right down onto the hardwood floor there. Okay. Good?
Yes.
All right, let's make sure there's no rug underneath it. And look at my line. Okay, that's pretty good there. How are we doing on this side? It's good there. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to have you hold the level across the wall like that.
Okay.
Because what we want is we want the outside edge of the jamb to be flush with the wall. So when you put your casing on here, it will lay flat. It won't be pitched either way.
Got it.
All right, so that's good. Now take it, put it up top here, just above the hinge. Hold that tight. All right, so now I want to take some shims to put in the opening. And I want the shims to be parallel with the 2x and the back side of the jamb. And to do that, I take the shim that's tapered and put one on top this way. Now there's 2 that way, and I'll put 2 this way. So now the stack is even in thickness no matter where I put them.
Okay.
Now I'm just going to take them, I'm going to spread them apart a little bit to make that gap narrow. Slide it in, push hard against the shim, look at my space. It looks about the same on each side. I actually want to make this a little tighter, so I'm going to pull this apart a little bit. That allows the jamb to go that way. I also want to make sure that the jamb is against the level on this side. Next, I want to pre-drill a hole for my screw. So now the jamb is tight against the shims, and the jamb is also flush with the wall. So you can remove that level.
Okay.
And I'll take it right here, I'll place it up against the jamb and see if it's plumb. You can see that it has to come out just a little bit on the bottom to make the level plumb. You see the gap between the bottom of the level and the casing? That's how far out it has to come. Okay, so now I'm going to take a shim on this side and a shim on this side and slowly push it in until the jamb comes out to be plumb. All right, Steve, you want to grab that door and we'll be hanging in the opening. All right, let's check the door, see how it swings. It's good, doesn't hit the floor.
Awesome.
Now, next thing I want to do is look at my gap up there. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to set this side. Okay, so now I've started the shims in here, but if you notice in the middle, the gap right here is wider than it is at the top right here. I want to keep that parallel all the way down. It's about right at the bottom. Now I want to push this over, so I'm going to slide the shims together, pushing the jamb over. Keep pushing it over till it looks parallel all the way down, which is about there. All right, Steve, your door is hung, and now we have to start thinking about the hardware.
Okay.
You've got some great